Greetings, Facebook Live community. It's your host of this Friday's edition, Rhythmia Live, our Christian Minson coming at you. And just going to wait a few minutes for people to join. If you're joining the recording, skip to about 4 minutes in and you'll skip a lot of fluff as we're just introducing people, shooting the breeze while waiting for people to come on. Live video here. So this is Friday right after Thanksgiving. Let's see how that shapes up. So we got two people. Ali Torres, hey. Remember to put in where you're from, even if you've done that before. It's difficult for me to remember everybody. Glenn J. Adams, I think, is living here in Costa Rica, right, Glenn? Debbie Garcia, I know, lives in Orange County, California. John Scott, I know, lives in La Chute in Montreal area of Canada. Ali Torres from Houston, Texas. That's right. Are you coming, Ali, to, do you know about me coming into Houston on Monday? And we're going to do a little breath work and maybe dinner. If you don't, hit me up on Facebook after. Kevin Peterson, Eileen Mack, hi. Lots of people joining in now. Good. That's what I love to see. Keep them coming. Penny, Glenn, Nasara, and Samara. Yeah, so neither of those places. I know Ali Torres. No, you don't know. I'm not sure why they didn't have you maybe on the list, but private message me, Ali, and I'll send you over the invite for that. So we're just getting started here. Got a couple more minutes to get a few more people on. It is the day after Thanksgiving. We had a lovely Thanksgiving here. Chef Meg created this amazing vegan Thanksgiving spread. And then, of course, there was turkey for all those meat eaters out there. But vegan it was, and it was delightful. And then we went from a huge vegan feast in the afternoon to plant medicine ceremony at night with Yahe. I'm running on zero sleep, basically, a little rest but zero sleep. Wonderful ceremony, full moon ceremony as well. That always adds an extra dimension of energy. See Douglas, hello. Sudha, hello. I know you're in Australia. Jeanette, Ali, yeah, private message me. John, hello. Tracy, hello from Washington State, excellent. Clem from Seattle. Martin, hey Martin. Kevin from Kelowna. Where's that? Where's that, Kevin? And Martin saying hello. All right, people are giving me some thumbs and some hearts. Good. I need that kind of feedback. If you're gonna be on, this is an interactive type of session, so I encourage you to not only type where you're from and all that, but ask questions. Last week's thing was probably half questions, and that's great. We even went over the normal hour I like to stick to. So, and then if you like what I'm saying, yeah, give me hearts, give me thumbs up. If you don't, give me mad faces. If I tell a joke that's really funny, give me the laughing guy. You know the drill. Scott, Nola in the house. Excellent. Jeanette, coming January, beautiful. Brian, Cocoa Beach, Florida. Mickey from Rhode Island. JD from Michigan. Kevin, British Columbia. That's, yeah, I thought that was where that was from. But Katie from Denver, or Kelty, do you know that I'm coming to Denver on for a breath workshop December 6th, Thursday, December 6th at the 5-Star Salt Caves. Go to www.5starsaltcaves.com. That's number 5, and or private message me and I'll send you the invite for that. Greg, Minneapolis, Sally, Penny, Vermont, Temecula, yay, Jeanette, Orange County, Lindsay, and California, Vanessa, beautiful. All right, it's time to get started. 5 minutes in. Welcome, everybody. I am your host and catalyst for transformation and awakening, R. Christian Minson, certified transformational breath facilitator, senior trainer in breathwork for the last 12 years, former monk, speaker, author, contributing author of this lovely book, Align, Expand, and Succeed, Shifting the Paradigm of Entrepreneurial Success, Merging the Fields of Consciousness and Business. So I've dabbled in just about everything, conscious-wise, business-wise, health-wise, and today our topic is drinking from the fountain of youth. And so to dive right into it, legend has it that there's this fountain of youth, where you can go, and as you drink from it, you remain young and vital, well beyond your years. And, even the concept that you could live forever. There's a movie that was created, well, there's a book, then the movie was created from the book. I think the book was called Escape from Shangri-La, or that was the movie. Lost Horizons was the name of the movie. And Escape from Shangri-La was the book. And the whole idea that they stumbled in this place in the Tibetan mountains or something that was the Shangri-La that had the fountain of youth, and this guy, he'd crashed and got in there and fell in love with this beautiful young woman, and long story short, convinced her to leave, but didn't realize that she'd been there already for 90 years, and upon leaving there, all of the rejuvenating effects of Shangri-La and the fountain of youth diminished, and she turned old and wrinkly right before his eyes and finally withered away to dust and blew away. So he lost his love, she lost her life, and he couldn't find his way back to Shangri-La. So, movies have been made about this. So does it really exist? And if it does, where do we find it? And why is this important at all, really? Who wants to live forever out there? There's probably a few of you that would like that. A few of you are like, live forever. It's just like age 60, 70, we start getting all decrepit. And then, why would you want to live forever in that state? So it's really not just about living long, the longevity, but really living healthy, living youthfully and vitally. And so this again is where this concept of the fountain of youth comes in. How I think everybody inherently wants to live more healthy and vitally, despite whatever age you are. So, if you could be 160 but have the health of a 40-year-old, that could be a good thing. You could. Well, there's concepts here then that I want to define as we're getting into this. First, there's your chronological age. When we're talking about age, chronological age means in time, chronos, what your actual age is. You've been around, the sun has gone around the planet 50 times since I've been here, so my chronological age is 50. But then there is biological age, another concept. Your biological age basically is your chronological age plus your lifestyle plus physical supplementation, health supplementation. So your biological age can be older than your physical age. So you could be 40 years old but feel like you're 65, or your biological age could actually be younger, meaning if you keep yourself healthy and well, that all of the physical markers that doctors can test for can show that you could be 5, 10, 15 years younger in body state than your chronological age would be on average. So that's the concept of biological age. Then, of course, third concept is psychological age, and that's how old you think you are. It is influenced by moods, by mindfulness, by things that keep you calm and stress-free. So in these three, just for me, As I mentioned, my chronological age is 50. Having gone to the doctor and getting some of these tests, my biological age, they tell me, is around 38. So even though I'm 50 years old, I've got the health of a 38-year-old. And my self-assessed psychological age is about 5. All right, so I'm definitely youthful in the psychological category, and perhaps a little too much so. So let's just say hi to some people here. John Scott, living healthy forever was always a dream. I fill out the books, read the places to go. Yeah, change. Scott, hopefully sooner than later. Hello from Canada. Beautiful. And Celeste is on, giving me rainbows of light. Welcome. Oh, and Ali winning. Ali, laugh out loud 5. Yes. Well, that's, yeah. So you can assess yourself. Now, those biological markers, something a doctor can give you, but you can kind of feel if you're feeling older than your age or younger than your age. And then even despite that, you may live in a decrepit body, but there's 90-year-olds that are hunched over and have osteoporosis and brittle bones and all that kind of stuff, but they're still youthful in spirit. And so when we talk about that, chronological age, biological age, psychological age, we can't do anything about chronological age. There's just the amount of time we're here, and we can't reverse that. But we can do something about the other two, the biological age and the psychological age. And these can be manipulated to reduce frailty in the cells, or frailty in the body. And that's the new, apparently the new term for aging is becoming more frail, because I guess the concept is we all age, again, in that chronological fashion. Aging is a fact of life. Frailty, where your cells are less resilient than they could be, it doesn't have to happen and can be staved off or definitely slowed down. After my neck surgery, I am coming arrhythmia. Excellent, Vanessa. How do I keep myself healthier with my men being at peace with everything? We'll talk about that a little bit there, JD. That pretty much is the subject for today. So when we're talking about the fountain of youth, then this is really about how do we tap into this fountain of youth, where the fountain of youth, if you think about it, really is the source of our energy. Think of a fountain coming up from a wellspring deep in the earth. It's the source of this fresh, clean water. In this case, the source of our energy. It's the source of our energy, it's the source of our growth, it's the source of our sustenance. And so when we're talking about the fountain of youth, we're really talking about how do we tap into that? How do we drink from that well so that we can stay well and stay healthy and young? So the true fountain of youth, the true elixir of life, if you will, is prana. Now, who's heard that term prana out there? If you've heard it, give me some thumbs up. And my mind is not at peace. How do I keep myself healthy? My mind is not at peace. Good. We'll talk about that, JD. Few people, one person. One person's heard, 2 people. I've heard the term prana. Ha, ha, ha. All right, a few more. Prana is really just a Sanskrit term from yogic philosophy. So people who practice yoga have often heard of this term. Prana is simply life force energy. It is the energy that has brought us to life. And as such, this is the source of life. This is that fountain of youth. So when we're talking about drinking from the fountain of youth, we're talking about how do we tap in to the source of this life force energy? Where does it reside? It is, for all intents and purposes, life force energy is the energy of the universe. So it's abundantly out there. How do we tap into it? So the how is basically there's lifestyle things we can do, and there's other, like I said, supplemental kind of things we can do to help supplement our health on a physiological level. Tapping into that prana or life force. Prana essentially is the energy we distill from anything we consume. So if that's food, we call them vitamins and minerals and proteins and fats, but beyond that, all of those are just varied forms of life force energy. We're ultimately distilling that life force energy that keeps the body running. The liquids we drink, so and of course the oxygen we breathe, and that's really where I'm going with this today as the breathwork director here at Rhythmia and the breathworker for 12 years. There's so many things that can be addressed by working with the breath. But on just a lifestyle level, one of those ways to tap into that fountain of youth, to tap into prana, distilling prana from what we consume, you want to eat well, and that means to eat nutrition, not just stuff that can go in your mouth. There's a lot of things that can go in your mouth and get digested by your stomach that don't equate to nutrition. And when we talk about nutritional foods, basically, we're trying to minimize the acid content in our race. So we're keeping a more alkaline pH to our body, and avoiding dead foods, processed foods, things that have been overcooked. So fresh fruits, fresh vegetables, of course. The more organic, the more they can be grown in nutrient-rich soils and all that kind of stuff. A little bit beyond the scope of what we're talking about today, but you can research all of that stuff, and just by eating healthier, eating more nutrition than junk. Also, eat little. It's interesting that there's some study I came across where they saw cultures that ate very little, and these were like more primitive cultures even. They had very small meals, and so there was a lot of essentially fasting or intermittent fasting going on in their diet, that these people actually lived longer and healthier. So there's an idea that the more we eat doesn't necessarily equate to nutrition, and again, especially if it's garbage, it's actually taxing the body. It's draining the body of energy to try to get rid of this stuff. So if we can actually eat less, we can be more healthier and more resilient. We can retain more of our life force energy. So inhale our food. Nice one, John Scott. Not quite. Inhale your oxygen. Eat your food nice and slow. Chew it well. Get it in your body so it's easy to assimilate. So eat well, hydrate well. So we run on fuel of oxygen, of liquids and solid foods. So proper hydration is like oiling the machine. We keep our joints healthy, we keep our organs healthy by keeping them full of water, keeping them plump. Our skin, one of the best facials you can do is to drink regularly 1.5 to 2 liters of water per day. That keeps your skin plump. It keeps you looking and feeling resilient. So proper hydration. Exercise. The body is a movement machine, and like any machine, if you put that old lawnmower in the garage and you don't use it for 2 years, and you pull it out, and then all the parts are rusted, right? Because it hasn't been in use. Any machine, including the body, needs regular use to keep it healthy and resilient. So exercise is vital to maintaining that sense of health and vitality. So all these things are stimulating the pranic energy, which in essence, metaphorically, is drinking, imbibing that fountain of youth energy so that we can use it in our lives. Then we start getting into the mental and psychological realms, and of course, positive affirmations to keep yourself. It's been shown that those who are chronically more unhappy or stressed or anxious tend to get sick easier, tend to get hurt easier, tend to die sooner. So just positive affirmations. One of the best affirmations without words that you can do is smile. Smile. I've been playing with this a lot because in meditation I get very serious and trying to focus, and I recognize that my face gets kind of tight, and I have to remind myself to relax the muscles of my face, and then in my mind I just turn up the corners of my mouth, and it's so interesting. There is this subtle psychological shift just by smiling. You think about it. We have conditioned ourselves to feel a certain way when we smile, because we usually smile when we're happy, when somebody makes us laugh, when things are going well. So I'm all about reverse engineering, and a happy emotion can make us smile, but smiling can in turn induce happy emotions. So, and those happy emotions again equate to better health and less taxing of our energy. So simple things like that. Relationships are huge when it comes to conserving and preserving our life force energy. And so I guess we're on one level we're talking about imbibing from the fountain of youth, and then also we're talking about not putting holes in our bucket. So we bring this this life force energy in, but if our bucket has holes, that energy is going to leak out. So you want to surround yourself with people that are going to induce those happy emotions, people who behave youthfully and not childishly, but childlike, people who have that just youthful exuberance for life, are enthusiastic, which interestingly, enthusiastic comes from the root entheos, which means God, in God. So to be enthusiastic means ultimately to be connected on some level to that higher power. Again, the higher power, the source of your life force energy. So having that direct connection is akin to drinking from that fountain of youth. So being enthusiastic. Anna, and what about when you have tried all of what you just said, even cut many things, almost vegan completely, and even having functional doctor, and there's still a piece missing? Well, that's where we're going here. These things are all, on some level, common sense, maybe not to everybody, and that's why we go over it. If this has been enlightening information for you so far, maybe give me a thumbs up or hearts, so I get a sense. But we'll get into a little bit more than just these lifestyle adjustments. But I want to say on the ending with relationships, all right, one person again, a couple people that this has been helpful information. Probably for most of you, it's review to a certain degree, and or if you didn't know it completely, you probably knew it to a certain degree, and now we're putting all the pieces together. But the final piece that I want to say on relationships is minimizing drama. Nothing can suck your life force out of you quicker than drama in relationships. This constant bickering, these not seeing eye to eye, and not giving in, being stubborn and trying to hold your perspective when you're dug into your perspective, your partner's dug into their perspective, and all you can do is be at a Mexican standoff, essentially. Outlook is everything. Project and receive. The universe listens. Beautiful, Gord. And your mind is your most powerful tool for achieving anything. That's exactly right. So, all right. So these are some of the things that you just do on a lifestyle level to help enhance your ability to take in that life force energy, or enhance your ability to hold life force energy, not let it leak out so quickly or exuberantly. But again, we're talking about drinking from that fountain of youth. So how do we directly access that prana or life force? Prana is that youthful elixir, and prana, that life force energy, is most abundant in oxygen. It's most abundant in oxygen. It's the easiest to distill from oxygen. So probably the easiest way to get us connected, directly drinking that life force energy, that fountain of youth, is through some kind of breathing techniques or breath work. Lo and behold, here I am, the breathwork guy at Rhythmia, and breathwork is the solution to so many different things. Thanks, Gord. And Sudha, great info, good. I love it when people in the course ask questions if you need clarification or if you want to take this in a certain direction. But I'm back to drinking. Let me drink from my fountain of energy, the black gold, of which you should not drink if you're coming to Rhythmia. At least if you want to do plant medicine, just helps your stomach a little better. So we're tapping into this life force directly by working with the breath. This does two things, basically. First of all, as you work with the breath in breathwork type of techniques, you're releasing energy blocks. So the concept is we store a lot of energy, often emotional energy, in our body field. It takes a lot of energy to hold that energy in place so it doesn't agitate and create chaos in our system. And that energy itself is blocking the space for new rejuvenating energy to come in. So as we work with the breath in a full free-flowing pattern, this nice full breath, relaxed and continuous circular motion, we start to release our grip on these energies that we've been trying to hold down in an effort not to experience them, so that they can come up, they bubble to the surface, and eventually release, they express, and they integrate. So now we've released that energy, so we don't have its negativity influencing us, and we've opened up the space for inhaling and bringing in new abundant life force energy. This is kind of like, I think I said a couple weeks ago, it's like tapping into the emotional minefield. You've got all these mines, that just ready to detonate as soon as somebody pushes one of your buttons. So what we're getting in there is getting in there and exploding those mines before somebody gets a chance to push the button. So by the time you get in a social situation where somebody's poking at you, there's nothing there. There's no energy for them to catalyze. It's played out. It's dead. Tracy, my mouth gets so dry. Am I doing the breath work wrong? No, you're not. And because we do the breath work through the mouth, it's normal, especially if you live in a dry climate. But even if you don't, even here at Costa Rica, usually it takes some getting used to. We're not used to breathing through our mouth, and breathing regularly and abundantly through there will give you a sense of dry mouth. Most of the time that will pass if you just keep going with it. After about 5 minutes, it's not even an issue. If it does continue to be an issue while you're practicing breath work, there's nothing wrong with taking a sip of water. Just take as much as you need to keep your mouth moistened and get right back into breathing. You don't want to be distracting yourself with water, taking water and stretching out and you want to stay with the breath process as much as possible. Dina Payne joined. Hey, Dina. So breath work is one, helping us to release this stored, stuck, stagnant energy that's doing us no good and can even be doing us harm. The second thing it does is it's like it fills your gas tank with energy. So if you think about it, if we're not breathing well, say 20% of our capacity, which is what I find most of us breathe at initially, where it's like filling your gas tank up 20%. So you can only go so many miles before you run out of gas. And that's like us running out of steam. If you're not oxygenating your body well, you can go for half a day and then you're tired. You feel like you need a nap. You feel like you're spent for the day. But if you're fully oxygenating your body, if you're filling yourself up with oxygen and as a result, life force energy, that prana, you are bringing more of that life force into your field. So now you've got, it's like filling your tank up to 100%. And that, in my old car, I could go almost 400 miles on filling my car up full. So as opposed to if it was just 20% full, I could go about 80 miles. So we're filling that tank up with energy. And I love, when we're getting into this idea of life force energy, there's abundant energy out in the universe. And some great friends and partners at Arrhythmia, Kimberly and Foster Gamble, who created this movie Thrive, and consequently interviewed me recently for their upcoming movie Thrive 2, which is really basing around the solutions that they started to enumerate in the first Thrive, but just quality solutions for changing the way we operate on this planet. And they felt like breath work was one of these foundational things. So I'm very excited about that, and hopefully hopefully it doesn't, my segment doesn't meet the editing floor, and you'll see me in Thrive 2 in a couple years. But why I bring them up is because in the first Thrive, they talk about this universal energy. They talk about energy in general as working in this toroidal shape, and this toroidal is like a little donut. There's a empty center, and the energy flows around, and it's all in all directions. So it becomes this sort of three-dimensional donut. If you look at a cell, a blood cell, it kind of looks like that. And the electromagnetic field is going around it. The Earth has this electromagnetic field from the North Pole to the South Pole. This is a toroidal shape. And we, as humans, have this toroidal energy field going. This is the energy field people have been tapping into to create free energy devices. And the idea is that this energy is abundantly there. It's essentially free. We just have to learn to tap into it. And this is what I feel like the breath work is doing. The breath work is helping us by working this full, free flowing pattern where we're getting into this rhythmic pulsation of breath. We essentially are, it's like we're starting your car. You turn the starter on and it creates a spark that catalyzes the engine to go, and then the engine runs on its own. Of course, it's fed by fuel. But in breath work, we're doing this continuous breathing till we reach a state we call activation. And by activation, I mean that the breath starts breathing you. You're putting very little effort in or no effort at all, and the breath starts humming along. This is what I would say is connecting to that toroidal energy field, the free energy flow, that then you're putting no effort into it. Your breath is moving all by itself, and you are filling yourself, replenishing yourself with this life force energy. What age can we introduce breathwork to children? I'd say, my teacher says even babies, you could help breathe a little bit by gently working with their stomach. As they exhale, you gently push in, not too hard. You want to be very careful. As they inhale, then you allow space for their bellies to go up and down. You can turn them on their belly, and you can see how that works too. I have worked with children as young as 4 and other children as old as 94, right? So I got the 94-year-old off oxygen. She had to use oxygen because she wasn't getting enough. And we found, and she didn't like it. It was a pain to haul around that machine, and it just made her feel old. And so we started working breath work, and probably after 5 sessions, we got her off the oxygen machine because she was breathing enough oxygen then. If you can breathe enough, there's no need to supplement yourself with a special machine that's like a ball and chain in your life. But 4-year-olds, any age. Now, you do got to understand when you practice breath work with children, it's much more of a game. It's much more planting a seed that this can be important in their lives, and or if you can catch them in a state where they're emotional and you can get them to just breathe with their emotions. Encourage them to express their emotions. So it's not about trying to stifle them or get over them. It's express those emotions, but keep breathing into them. Inhale, exhale, and express. Inhale, fresh new energy that pushes out that emotion. Exhale and express the emotion. So as kids get more acclimated to that, ideally they'll use it in their lives as they become adolescents and teenagers and such, when we start developing all those problems or challenges that end up dogging us for the next 4 decades of our lives, until many years and many dollars worth of psychotherapy put a little dent in that. That's awesome, Vanessa. Cool. See there. So that's there. So one of the ways, so we're talking about tapping into this toroidal energy field, and one of the ways, which I mentioned a couple weeks ago too, is live intensely, meaning go out there and expend energy. Get in there, be exuberant, be active, which calls upon the need for more energy to come into your field. And what do they say? Ask and it shall be given is essentially this concept that as you live life in a way that consumes more energy, you are essentially asking the universe to replenish that energy for you, and that starts that cycle going. And of course, if you can then learn things like breath work, which we teach here at Rhythmia, and I teach independently, you can start to get a head start on all of that. On that note, let's see, new comment. Do you need chemical dependency counselor over there? Good question. What I would do is just we would want to email Dr. Jeff here at Rhythmia and send him your resume. Just know that there's a lot of people that they're looking to volunteer here, so we got a pretty long list. But as needs arise, and if you have a special skill that ultimately matches with what we need, you can be bumped up in that list. But that's basically the process. We're looking to bring people on as interns at first, and then eventually maybe a employment position. So you can, if you don't know how to get in touch with Dr. Jeff, you can private message me, and I can connect you, or I can take your inquiry and pass it on to him. On that note, if you want to carry on the conversation with me beyond the walls of Rhythmia, of these Facebook Lives, you can friend me on Facebook, R. Christian Minson. The letter R, Christian Minson, is my profile. And all I ask is, if you friend me, include a message. If you don't include a message, the likelihood of me accepting that friend request is slim. If you do include a message, the likelihood is 95% that I'll accept that friend request right away. So always include a message that just says where you saw me, or a little thing, why you want to be friends, anything, or just, hey, I want to be friends. I appreciate if you tell me where you're from too. That's an ideal thing. I like to categorize people so I can send you information as needed if something's going on in your area. Let's see. So on that, new comments. Gord, Christian, is there any additional benefit to practicing health breath work in a heated environment like a sauna? I would, Stacy Lynn, thank you. You're welcome, Stacy. Gord, I would be very careful about practicing in the sauna. That's an extreme heated environment. Now, we do breath work sometimes in body temperature water, like a low temperature hot tub, for instance, 100 degrees about would be ideal. And that does seem to activate you quicker, get you into that state of activation, and can bring up even more intense emotional catharsis and all. So I don't recommend that unless you've got a facilitator or somebody to spot you, because you're in water, and if some way you end up going into an altered state, you may go under the water, and that wouldn't be good. And as we said, if you can intensify the activation of your emotions and such, and that can be kind of scary if you don't know how to handle it. Nothing inherently dangerous in that respect, but it can throw you for a loop if all of a sudden you got this intense catharsis of emotions come up and you're not prepared for it. But the sauna, a little bit too hot. You could definitely end up passing out, and I definitely wouldn't do that if you were the only person in the sauna. And I would just say avoid that. But the hot tub is something else. But I would do that with a facilitator. And so if we got any other questions out there, any comments, this one, I'm coming pretty much to the end. I just want you to visualize for a moment. If you were to regularly take what I said and start regularly imbibing from that proverbial fountain of youth, how is your life going to be different? I can guarantee you that you're probably going to feel more full of life, more vitality. There's going to be more excitement and enthusiasm to meeting your day. The challenges even of your life become not so much problems, but creative challenges that you find solutions to. So your creativity starts to blossom. And ultimately, as we bring this life force in, we feel more connected and more healthy in life. So all of these benefits are available to you as we start tapping in. And like we said, you can tap in through some lifestyle changes, healthy eating, hydrating, healthy relationships, healthy attitude of smiling and positive affirmations. And then, of course, hacking our physiology by working with the breath. And if you really want an intensive experience of that, come to Rhythmia right here, or friend me, and I'll keep you posted on what kind of breath type events I've got going on. I will mention that Rhythmia has a few weeks out of the year that we dedicate solely to breath work. So all of the ceremonies that we conduct are breath ceremonies. So we're not going to have any plant medicine on Breathwork Week. The next Breathwork Week is with the Reverend Michael Beckwith in January. He'll be the guest speaker, and we'll be going through every night of the week from Saturday or Sunday when you arrive all the way through the next Friday or Saturday when you leave. Every ceremony is a breath ceremony. And if you're wondering about the efficacy of that versus plant medicine, always I poll people at the end of the week, and half the room indicates that their breath ceremonies were equally as deep as their plant medicine ceremonies, and at least half a dozen always say that their breath ceremonies were even more powerful than their plant ceremonies. Some people just don't get something out of their plant ceremony, or they don't feel like they got it. That's what we should stress a little more, because you're always, just by doing the medicine, it's working in you in various ways, just like doing the breath. Even if you don't feel anything big and fireworks going off and all that, just by oxygenating your system, you're giving yourself an advantage. So, Gord, understood. I feel like an environment that hot can actually hinder my breathing anyways. Yeah, so we're talking, that was in reference to the hot or the sauna question. All right, so anybody out there want to say anything more? Give me any comments. If you're still with me, give me a couple thumbs up or hearts just to say you made it to the end here. It's been a great week. We just, like I said, we just finished this week's round of plant ceremonies last night with a full moon Thanksgiving ceremony. Do, American Thanksgiving. All right, hearts and likes, good. It's nice to know that somebody's out there. And let's see, yeah. So Thanksgiving, gratitude. Remember your gratitude. One of the best ways to keep yourself aligned in a positive attitude. Worked on that a lot in my ceremony last night, and that full moon just added extra potency to the occasion. So really want to invite you to come on down here to Rythmia and check it out. Quickly becoming a legendary experience. We're going into almost 3 years in operation, and it's amazing how popular it's become in just this short period of time, because lives are getting changed. Things are happening. This is a real program with real results. We boast a miracle attainment rate of 93-ish% right now. We've gotten that up as high as 95 or 6%, and we're working to bring it back up there again, which means that the vast majority of people who come here get what they came for, and that's why this thing has taken off like wildfire, because I don't know any other transformational program out there that's so consistent in its results in such a compact period of time. Some of you may have heard from me before. I said that 1 week here feels like 1 month's worth of life, and for some participants going through those plant ceremonies one night after another, sometimes you can feel like a lifetime of work is done in just 1 week. So I'm getting hearts and thank yous in here. Thank you, you rock. Thank you, Ali. And 100%. My life was insanely changed. Get there if you haven't been. Yeah, so Ali's singing the praises of Rythmia. Kelty, the breathwork at Rythmia was awesome. So many stuck emotions were released on day one. Yeah, that's what I love. We do breathwork on day one, and people aren't expecting it. They're thinking yogic breathing, let's do some alternate nostril, or just some relaxation breathing, and they do this, and all this energy comes up, all these experiences happen, visions, downloads, and they're like, what the heck just happened to me? What did I do? You tapped into that fountain of youth, right? You tapped into that life force energy, which is bringing you all the life that you can stand. Can you book way in advance? Yes, you can book way in advance if you like, at least a year in advance. And if you want to book even more than that, just call the booking office here. +1, so it's American number, 866 toll free 936-9446. That's the number to the Rythmia booking office, and you can ask them those questions specifically. But I know you can book You can book at least a year in advance, and you may be able to book even more in advance. And Allie's saying, Vanessa, yes, you can too. OG Verno, okay, I made it. Teleporting isn't as fast as they claim. Gotcha. Vanessa, like a year. Yeah. So you could definitely book a year in advance. And you're saying, okay, thank you. Beautiful. All right, we're pretty much on time here. Come check out Rhythmia. When you get here, come check out my book, or the book I'm part of, Align, Expand, and Succeed, Shifting the Paradigm of Entrepreneurial Success. Come check out the breath work. Come say hi to me, and we'll have a good old time. Look for our other Facebook Lives. Tomorrow is Saturday. I Got My Miracle, where we interview somebody online, somebody who's gone through the program and got their miracle, and you get a first-hand account there. Sunday is Chef Meg, always talking food, and usually vegan food recipes that we often employ here at Rhythmia. And then Monday is Dr. Jeff, our resident psychotherapist, always giving his astute and educated commentary on life situations and how Rhythmia and the medicine can help. So I was freaking stuck on the 4th level of higher consciousness, seemed like forever. Yeah, well, if you ever feel stuck in any level, just keep breathing connectedly. You can slow down the breath. Often that'll ease you back into this 3rd dimension, and after a while you'll be back. So my energy was much better since last time I was there. Good, thank you. Right on. So that's it. R. Christian Minson signing off for today. Check me out on Facebook and friend me with a message. Check out my website, breathflow.com. Of course, check out Rhythmia's website, rhythmia.com. Rhythmia's Facebook page, where you're finding this. All sorts of archives of these Facebook Lives. Rhythmia has a YouTube page as well that archives all the past Facebook Lives. So there's some really great topics out there. I've got some that go in a little bit more detail about how to do the breath work. So if you want to start experimenting with that at home before you get out here, feel free. I just limit it to 5 to 15 minutes worth of a session rather than getting into a whole longer hour or so. With that, it doesn't look like there's any more questions. I am going to sign off for today. R. Christian Minson, bowing and saying namaste to all of you. Thanks for joining, and we'll see you next week on Rhythmia Live. Over and out.